Have you got a story to share? A moment, an experience? Do you want to remove your mask and write your story to help others around the community, even around the world? My name's Jay from Journey of a Whitefeather, and we have koalas, kangaroos, and Steve Irwin impersonations. And this is a chat with Jay. Remove your mask, write your story. So many people around the world, from normal everyday people to great celebrities like Bruce Buffer and the Kings of Disco, the former members of Village People, come on and talk about their lives. Come on and impart knowledge for you to become a better person. So if you've got a story, you've got experiences that can help anyone, you can email me on whitewarriorhealth@gmail.com or catch me on social media platforms, Journey of a Whitefeather and Words of the Warrior on TikTok. Remove your mask, write your story. And as my hero, Bret the Hitman Hart from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, former WWF and WWE Hall of Famer and champion says, get up in the morning and be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. G'day guys, this is Jay here, Journey of a Whitefeather. We've been pretty busy the last couple of weeks. Had the Kings of Disco, the former members of Village People, as you know. You know, I'm the number one Village People fan / Kings of Disco fan. Everyone knows about that. But everyone knows about my love for Perth and Fremantle because, you know, hint, hint, best-selling book is all about the journey that I started in Fremantle. And I've got one of my great friends here that I met through our mutual coach, Mr. JT Fox, the heavyweight champion of the world. And you're going to hear a wonderful story from Perth, Western Australia, the best state in Australia. Sorry, it's the way it is. I'm biased. That's the way it is. I'm a hype man. Leon, mate, it's been a while that we're going to do this, but I'm absolutely honoured to have you on this show, my friend.
Jay, it's great to be here, mate. Yeah, look, it's the work in progress. We're all busy fellas, but look, perfection takes time, mate, and here we are.
Absolutely, it's been such a ride, mate, meeting you, my friend. I mean, so we have a mutual old coach friend, JT Fox, which you'll see a picture of him coming up very soon. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you met JT as well. And then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this magnificent video that you made and that passion you had for I think, a life goal, if I'm correct, Leon.
Yeah, look, so I met JT. I raced last year at the World Champs for Xterra over in Italy, in Torino. Found myself pretty burnt out when I got back. I'd put my business on the back burner. To achieve anything in life, mate, you know, you really need to go all in. And that was the decision I made when I qualified for the World Championships, was to go all in to give it what I got. So my business took a bit of a back burner. And after that, I decided it's time to lock back down. And part of that was finding my way across to JT, and yeah, loved the vibe he was putting out, and here we are.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And we've had some wonderful chats with him, and he's just you know, he's one of those people that he is larger than life, but I mean, the contact I've had with him has been nothing but superb. And he's, you know, we talk about, you know, the coaching side of things and business strategists. I mean, but as a human being, for me, and I think yourself, you're a very good judge of character from the times we've talked. I mean, he's a wonderful individual.
Yeah, and authenticity is a big thing, man, especially for me. So I pick up, I feel like I read people and I pick up on people pretty quickly.
Yep.
And look, in his line and in his realm, and, you know, people of that sort of like wealth, there's, simply put, there's a lot of shit talkers.
Absolutely,
and,
there is.
you know, yeah, you know, money talks and bullshit walks. So, you know, it's great to, you know, get the backing of the words that come out, get, you know, followed through, which is, you know, do as you say and say as you do, mate, and you'll always be on the right path.
Absolutely. And it's inspired us to, you know, a better community, all the people that we've met. But Leon, tell us about this why are we connected? Obviously, you said it from Perth, and I'm just going, rightio, this guy must be a legend. Okay, I'm a bit biased, as I said. I keep talking about Freo. and Perth. I love it. But your story, my friend, this video, I think we met in February, and I think you'll tell me about your about to launch this video about your, I guess, life dream. Do you want to tell the viewers about your life dream, my friend? I guess, can I call it a
Yeah,
life dream for you, mate?
made a documentary that you're referring to. It's called When the Mountains Talk. It's a story of, it all started as well. It started as a bit of a joke. So I had a marriage breakdown, unfortunately, about 4 years ago. And as part of me, going to learn about myself, I always had to be around people, to feel accepted, I suppose, trying to hang out with these people to be cool. Or if I bought that car, I could hang out with these guys. And as a bit of challenge to myself, I thought, right, I'm just going to go spend a little bit of time on my own to try and just see what happened. And I went down the Stirling Ranges, and I just climbed a couple of mountains, and the love affair kicked in from there. And one day I was just mucking around on my computer, and I was like, I think I was watching Alex Honnold. I watched when he soloed El Cap, and I was like, geez, that's pretty cool. I wonder what mountains there are. And I just started looking up world's coolest mountains, and the Matterhorn come up on my screen. And I was like, geez, that'd be pretty cool. Wonder if I could climb that. And so I said it to two or three people, and then I voiced it to my mentor in like my personal development growth. And he was like, I've heard about this twice. Get some skin in the game or stop bloody talking about it. And I said, all right. I said, yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
there was about 15 blokes on this call. And I said, right, mark my words, I'll climb the Matterhorn. And from there on, I just started training for that. Met a filmmaker at the rock climbing center where I went to learn to like climb. And we just started training. And then one day I was like, wonder how many of these mountains I could do in a day. And it started as a joke. It really, really did. And essentially, long story short, I went on to do this as a charity gig, to raise money for men's mental health charity, the Starting Line. Great bunch of guys, and yeah, we went about it. And Justine's, from Haunted Astronaut, has put together a brilliant film, of the journey leading into the day and the day itself. So yeah, it was a really special thing,
Mate. I mean, even just talking about it now, mate, it's just, you can see that your passion for what you did. It's very funny. I make a joke about the bears I met over in Canada. Funny, I met them. They're in the street, right? And could I ask about, and I'll tell you about my story with the bears. It's really about the Smokey the Bear story. But did you actually have an inkling that you were going to do this at all? Did you have it like, it obviously didn't come out of nowhere, but there some sort of message or some sort of synchronicity that came to say, to give you a message and go, Leon, it's time for you, as you said, put up or shut up and go for it? Or did you had an internal love of some sort?
No, so it was, I suppose it was probably, the first part of it was obviously, like anyone who's been through a breakup, like you can go one of two ways, mate. You know what I mean? You can go out and drown your sorrows and, go that way. And I sort of went the other. I gave up drinking. Not that I ever really had a problem, but I was just like, nah, for now, I need to focus on what I'm feeling and trying to actually work through these things properly. You know what I mean? And part of that day when I first went down to the Stirling Ranges on that day, and I sat in Torbiton, which I go into it a bit more in detail in the documentary. It was like what the documentary is called. It was like the mountains were talking.
Really? Wow.
It was, yeah, it was the first time I'd actually really stopped to sit somewhere and just take things in, and, hearing things and noises and meditate almost to a point, but it wasn't a focus on that, but it just came. You're going to be okay. It's not going to be great right now. There's still going to be plenty of hard times to get through. but you're going to be okay. And then, through that, and then going to the Matterhorn and finding the love of mountaineering. Like I'm literally about to leave on Friday for my third trip now back to the Alps to try and knock off a few more summits. So I've just found a love affair for the mountains as a place, I suppose you could say, as a place A of healing, and then B as a place of inspiration too. And then once I got back and we locked into this, it was just a chance to do my little bit. Plenty of people have helped me along the way, so my thought process behind this documentary, and then obviously the chance to have purpose and raise some money for people is, if I can help one person, well then, hey, my job's done here.
I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show. Amazing story. I think very similar to a lot of people who have to find their purpose. They go through life and then suddenly something happens to them that makes them kick them into a gear, to another level. And the spirituality and the spiritual side of things, as you said, finding your purpose is huge, wasn't it? I think a lot of people who I've talked to on the net and have connected to have said a sense of purpose is huge. And what was that feeling for you there, Leon? What was that? Was it like a relief, or was it like a glowing, like a glowing light coming out of you, or did you just think, right, this is it? I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show.
It was probably kind of starting to get some self-belief back in myself, and what I was capable of. Like, for a lot of time, don't get me wrong, I always worked hard, and it was trying to provide and what you think was right, and necessarily the path you were walking potentially wasn't right for you. You know what I mean? And it was just, once it was locked in that was a goal to achieve, and I could see what it was going to do, and the thought process behind it, and people were getting on board, and the steps to keep going. It just directs you, man. Like the idea of it's the masculine energy. You want to lead. You want to help others. You want to and that's sort of what it was for me. It was, I'd felt like I'd got myself out the hole, so I was putting the chain back in there to drag others with me, and that's kind of what I hope happens with the documentary when it goes live.
Look, I guess it's like exactly like my book, Leon. There, I wrote the book exactly the same way. You have those experiences, and once you find your purpose, you sort of you reflect deeply, don't you? You sort of reflect on those times that got you there. And when you went to was it the first? It was a Sterling Mountain, was it? Was it in?
The Sterling Ranges.
Sterling Ranges. Yep. I found when I went to Canada and I connected with the earth again and really connected, because it's a very, I guess Canada is a very spiritual place in a lot of ways with regards to the amount of earth that is there. And seeing the bears, I always make a joke about the bears. And that's where the Smokey the Bear thing come out. And they go, hang on, that's been constant in my life, going, hang on. And suddenly you meet that purpose. I love to watch animals in their own habitat. That's the good thing for me. And, obviously animal protection and all those kind of things have come up. Tell us about the video when you got that. So did you have, what was it, a process for you when you go, right, I'm sitting here, I'm ready to go? Was the video the first thing you thought of, or you just thought, I'm going to get to the top of the mountain?
Nah,
where were you at?
No, not at all. So, like I said, I'd met Justine, who ended up being the filmmaker. Like I said, the first day I went to a rock climbing center, and she said, "Hey, what are you here for?" And I said, "Oh, I'm training to climb the Matterhorn." And everyone stopped and looked at me, and they're like, "Pardon? Come again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to try and climb the Matterhorn."
Yep.
And everyone has a bit of a giggle about it because, you live in Perth, it's dead flat and it's 22 hours away from the Alps. Yeah, and so we just started training together down there, running some laps for fitness on the mountains down in the Stirlings. And yeah, I just said, look, I really I can do 5 of these in a day. And
Five.
we had a bit
Wow.
five of the mountains. There's a bunch of them down there. Um, and we had a bit of a giggle about it and a laugh. And then I was like, no, I reckon I can do this. And she's like, well, if you did it, I'd film it. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a pretty cool idea. And that sort of was the end of it. And then it's just started gathering speed. And she come over one night for dinner and we were just talking about doing 5. And I was like, 5's too easy. And we bought the map up and we zoomed out and I was like, there's 6 in that ring. We're going to go for 6 in 12 hours. And it just literally went from that idea. And she's like, well, I'm going to film it. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to film it and it's going to be exposure, what can we do to benefit others? And I was like, right, let's make this a GoFundMe charity and away we go. Who are we going to align it with? Well, at the time it was, men's mental health. And
Yep.
yeah, I'd met the guys from the starting line, and they're a great bunch of guys. And then we've also put a couple of guys through a great program based in Australia here, the Men's Development Academy. It's called the Alpha Code. It's a program I did that was nothing short of life-changing for me. So
The
we've
Alpha
also,
Code, is that what it's called, mate?
yeah, the Alpha Code from the Men's Development Academy. So Justin and Ollie, the two guys there, they do an absolutely bloody brilliant job. And yeah, we've put a couple of guys through that now.
Is that
So yeah,
Australia
that's
wide? Is that Australia wide? There,
100%, mate. You can get online there. They in America as well. They've got a couple of guys from Europe. So yeah, everyone's welcome there, mate. They really know their stuff.
fantastic. The process of the documentary and what was going through your head. I mean, you're a very driven man. I've seen, obviously, anyone who hangs around JT is driven. Let's be honest, all right. Especially in his inner circle, we know this. I mean, I've seen you doing your own videos and stuff at the conferences where we've been at, especially the one in Gold Coast. I think it was when we were
Yeah.
there. Did you use that energy to make that video? And when you found yourself going, hang on a minute, this is real. What is the process? Or it just came naturally to you? Can you tell us a bit about your mindset on that? Because it's an exciting, I mean, it must be like I said, when I got my book, I thought, geez, that's an accomplishment, man. It really is.
Yeah, and it's a long process too from
It would be.
planning what we're going to plan to do this and we're doing that. So then you start your socials about, we're going to do this. We're doing this to try and get some, donations in. And I suppose the real point for me of when it become really real was when I went to do the interview.
Where was the interview,
Because
friend? Where was the interview?
where?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, you're going to love to hear this. I'll give you one guess where it was, my friend. Fremantle.
Fremantle, I was going to say
Freo was the
6PR.
interview. Yeah, no. It was no for the interview for the documentary.
Yep.
Sorry,
I thought it was an interview for a radio station.
No. The interview for the documentary.
Whereabouts in Freo? Can we say, mate?
Oh, what's it called? It's as you go across the bridge, and it's
Cicerello's?
right there, bang in front of you. No. It's like the old wool shed or something like that. So it was one of the real old historic buildings.
Oh, take me pick down there, man. That was great.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it was a brilliant spot, mate.
Yeah.
In there, and it's all the full lighting team and the camera team and the sound engineers and so and I said right from the start when I set out to do it that I was just going to be raw with this whole thing because at the time I was still racing mountain bikes as well. So you're having good days of training, bad days of training. I run my own business, so there's good days and bad days that come with that, and single dad life, so there's good days and bad days that come with that too. So it was just about sort of just telling it like it was on that journey. But to go into the interview to actually sit there and go, okay, the answers I'm given tonight are going to be seen potentially by a lot of people, and still being raw and honest and in alignment with who you really are. That was the moment where I was like, holy shit, this is this is something serious, like
How did
the
you
actual.
cope with that? When you gone when you went you gulped and you gone, hang on a second, this is it. How
Yeah,
did you get through it? I mean, obviously you had a love for what you did, but there's obviously going to be, oh shit, here I am.
yeah, and it was literally 3 days before we actually did the challenge itself was the interview.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, it really is a point of where you just think to yourself, like in my thought process, I was like, right, I'm here to help others, and the only way I can do that's by sharing my true story. Owning your truth. No one can take that away from you. You speak authentically and honestly, then it is what it is, and no one can take it away from you.
That's very true. I'll just cut you off on that one, because I've found, especially the last 6 months, especially as in meeting a lot of people through our network that we've got with JT, especially, and I'll mention him again, but the magnificent people, you can see the authenticity. Did you find you actually embraced that a lot more when you did the interview? Did you embrace that? Hang on, I am authentic. I knew I wasn't a bad person or anything, but you really embrace that authenticity within yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I found myself a little bit more of not so much screw everybody, but like this is me. This is who I am moving forward. Get on the train, or the next station's coming, and you can get off.
It's pretty simple,
Um,
isn't it?
and that's pretty much where it was at. So yeah, that was pretty much the turning point for me of when I was like, wow, this thing's a go. So yeah, and then obviously from there, we got some radio interviews, some TV interviews with it as well. So it was yeah, it was really really unreal to see the support of everybody getting on board.
Oh, magnificent! And look, let's go through. Look, you've jumped on the plane to go to the Matterhorn. What were your thoughts when you actually going, right? I'm putting the shoes on and going, hang on, holy shit, I'm actually going to do it. Did you have that?
Yeah,
Did you have that, or what was that? What was that feeling like?
yeah. So I got in about 6 days before. You fly into Geneva in Switzerland, and then you get a bus van down into Chamonix in France.
Yep.
And the first time you drive in and the Alps go in front of you, as a guy from the dead flats in Perth, like, yes, I'd been to New Zealand the year before and
Yep.
that, but to actually see it and you just like,
It's an amazing feeling, isn't it? Like those wonders. I mean, we've got to look. We're not haven't got many mountains in Australia. Let's be honest. But it's
yeah,
the same things when I drove down from to Banff, and when I went to Whistler, especially going from Calgary to Banff and seeing all those mountains. I'm just thinking, wow, it's another thing, isn't it? It's like it's another feeling. It's like you just think, wow, this is just amazing.
yeah, it really is. It's just for me, it was, you didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yes.
like, look at
Yeah.
that.
Very much.
Oh, that's cool. But look at that. That's cool. Like, there
Yeah.
was just so many like things to take in. And then the first time just going up there and actually being amongst it, like I just took one of the cable cars up to the Aiguille du Midi just to try and get some acclimatization on the first day. And I remember a little kid was walking up the stairs and he went to trip, and I took like 5 quick steps to grab him, and I was just gasping by the end of it because
Oh,
like
mate.
you're at altitude for the first time.
Yeah, had that because
Um,
I've found that as well. Like going right up the rock. I mean, this is very similar to my story when I went up the Rockies and went looking for bears, which they bloody hid from me. The buggers found more bears in bloody Vancouver streets. It's very funny. It's surreal, isn't it? Like it is really surreal. Like doing
yeah,
those
and
kind
it
of things.
yeah, and it's just, I don't know. For me, I go, wow, people get to live here every day. They get to
Yep.
be in this every day. And
Yep.
then I start talking to people, and they're like, wow, you live in Perth, you get to go to the beach every day. So it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it really is,
Right.
different strokes for different folks, and just embracing what you have.
Yeah.
And also, really sharing those special times when you get to go to some of these special places. But yeah, the first time of putting crampons on and, stepping out into the snow and into the ice, yeah, man, it's something else. It's, people say, oh, what's it like, Leon, being up there? Like I said, this is my third trip that I'm about to leave next week on. They're like, what's it like being at the summit of these places? And I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Like, you can try, and I can tell you everything what it's like, but until you feel it, it's not going to be the same. It's something different when you're up there. That's for sure. So it's
Oh,
yeah, and like my climbing partner lives in England, my mate Rich, and every time we come back down after a summit, we're like, do you know, way less than 0.1 of the world is ever going to see what we saw today.
so everyone knows I love YMCA, the Village People. I got the honour of interviewing 4 members of the current Kings of Disco. My name's Jay, and I have a chat show on Spotify and YouTube called A Chat with Jay. And today, the biggest interview of my life, former members of Village People, the Kings of Disco. Bill Whitefeather, the construction worker. Eric Elizondo, the Leatherman. Alex Briley, G.I. Joe Army Man. And Ray Simpson, one of the best frontmen I've seen. He's the copper. We reminisced about the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but we know they're called the Kings of Disco. But what happened? Let's see when we talk to them on our show. But also, we're going to find out how to get them down here, because when they were here in 2017, they rocked the house, and they can do it again. Spread this video around. Looking forward to releasing it. And thank you so much, the Kings of Disco. We want you down under again, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much, and always do the YMCA.